This is the pig ears. You have to taste that. You just have to remove.
Guys, pig ears.
Yeah.
In this video, we are going to talk about my favorite Filipino foods and what I actually eat on a daily basis when I am visiting the Philippines. There are actually quite a few good Filipino dishes, and I apologize for one of my early videos where I kind of gave the thumbs down on some of the Filipino food, and that's not the entire story. I do enjoy and have some favorite Filipino dishes that I probably would say are the best in the world. And let's go through some of those one by one. But first I wanted to give a quick summary of why the Filipino food is a little bit different than other countries. Mainly because it was trading with the Chinese for, I don't know, hundreds of years before the Spanish even came on the scene and occupied the Philippines for 300 or something years. And then the US bought the Philippines, believe it or not, for $20 million in 1898. And the Filipinos have had a mixture of all these three cultures. The Chinese, the Spanish, and then lastly the Americans. So they have like a mixed bag of items on the menu.
Guys are Nils. But when you're talking about why a lot of meat and not much veggies,
Yes.
it's because mostly, well, in the provinces, I'm sure you're gonna where they grow veggies, right? You're gonna see a lot of places where they only eat veggies, for example. But here in Manila, here in Manila and other CBDs, it's hard to get vegetables in, most especially during the rainy seasons. Rainy season is latter half of the year.
All right.
So logistics and everything takes part in, it is one of the reasons why most of the prices of the veggies go up. So the people here would rather just eat, vegetables rather than meat rather than vegetables, because there are certain times of the year when meat is actually cheaper than veggies. And why rice? Rice, fills you up. It makes you if you're just hungry, you just eat rice. So there are some places actually where they just eat rice and fish sauce or salt. Yeah, that's actually true. You go to the poorer areas in the country, people just eat rice and salt and fish sauce. So
But when I go to Rustans down the street here, a block or two away, they have lots of vegetables. But you're still saying they don't buy too much of it because it's pricey?
most of the time, well, yeah, I was telling you, right? They just want to fill themselves up sometimes, I guess, and that's why they eat rice and they eat meat. Because sometimes, rather than eating meat, rather than eating veggies, for example, I'd rather buy rice because it's cheaper and it's meat, right? It fills you up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons, I think. Yeah.
My top favorite Filipino foods, and the number one on the list, would be the mango. There are no other mangoes anywhere in the world that are sweeter and more juicy and tasteful than the Filipino mangoes. So that's number one.
Those are some huge mangoes. I just finished one here. They are a little bit sour, but really, really flavorful.
And number two, I would say the roasted pig. The Filipinos really know how to make pig. And this was before my vegetarian days, but that's a strong number two.
Lechon and
Oh, and
lechon.
lechon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, according to Anthony Bourdain, right? The best pig in the world. It's lechon.
That's right. Yeah, he says nothing can get between him and that Filipino dish with all that fat.
Yeah, with all that fat and the crispiness, and we love our pork here.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but pork is good in the Philippines, I have to admit, even though I'm a vegetarian.
yeah. We know how to cook our pork actually. Yeah. So one of the staples actually is just the deep fried pork, which I think we do pretty well. Yeah. Sorry for you.
And it has a lot of calories, so it would fill you up.
And cholesterol. Yeah.
And number 3, I would vote for the taho. I get that first thing in the morning, and I don't know any other country that makes that. It's very yummy, and I try to get that early in the morning because the vendors seem to go home by 9, so I go out maybe 7 or 8 in the morning and get it straight from the street.
Oh, very yummy.
You might get it now, I think, in 7-Eleven or some of the other convenience stores, but it's not the same as getting it fresh straight from the vendor in the morning. And Hallo is a favorite dessert that I always get in the Philippines. I don't know anywhere else in the world where they make these sweet fruit mixes with ice cream and milk. It's I could actually eat one of those as a main meal. It's very filling and very yummy. And then turon is an afternoon snack that I frequently will get. It's a little bit greasy because it's deep fried, and sometimes I peel off the skin. But it's deep fried banana with sugar, and it's really nice. Fills the spot late in the afternoon between lunch and dinner. When you go to the grocery store or in the shopping mall, if they have fresh fruit juices, you should go for the mango banana shake. It's again the Filipino mango, which is extremely sweet and flavorful, and mixed with the local banana or imported banana. It's really good. One of the hard things to find in the Philippines is good bread, at least in my opinion. However, you can go to some of the health food stores in Makati and pick up some imported frozen bread. I go to usually what's called healthy options. There's about a dozen of them in Makati alone, or half a dozen, and they usually have real good bread that's imported, and it's frozen in the frozen freezer department, and it costs a little bit more than, say, the local bread. I think I pay about US $10 for a loaf of bread. I know that's pricey, but it's really good, and you can make yourself some really good sandwiches for a while. So my daily routine on what foods I eat is pretty simple. I usually eat some snack or some fruits in the morning together with taho from a street vendor. For lunch, I usually go out for some of the jolly jeeps, as I call them. Those are metallic boxes where they cook food out on the street corners or along the curbside from 12 noon until about 2 p.m. And you can pick up both international and Filipino dishes at $1 to $2 a meal. So that's where I usually go for lunch.
Oh wow! That's a really good potato salad. Not potato.
That's the real
That's
stuff.
real stuff. Now I tried it. Tofu's really good too. Well done. Yeah, hard to find here.
He likes it.
Oh.
So special Indian salad, spicy tofu, and German potato. Very yummy. And then for dinner, I will sometimes just buy double the lunch and eat leftovers for dinner. But if I feel like it, I might go out to a Spanish restaurant. There's one in Greenbelt called Barcinio. Highly recommend that, and I usually pick up a Spanish omelette. It's pretty inexpensive, only about $5. And if you have a senior citizenship or a passport that shows you a date that you're a senior, you can usually get a 20% discount. I think it is just by showing your passport. You don't even need a local ID or some senior citizen ID that they sometimes, some restaurants require. At Persigno they will just happily make a note of your passport and give you a discount. So that's what I eat for dinner. I try to skip the Starbucks coffees or other coffees that cost an arm and a leg, which is basically just some coffee with a lot of sugar. And for the late evening snacks, I might just have some peanuts or other nuts that I finish off. And that's pretty much my regular routine for food. Is it battery or are you moving it?
Battery.
Yeah. Wow. I love it. The friendly Filipino waitress.
Happy Thanksgiving!
If you're new to this channel and you like our content, please remember to subscribe by pressing the red icon here, but also remember to press the little bell icon on the side and you'll be notified when we upload new videos.